All right, so now finally we are going to talk about some of the different elements of treatment when working with children with PTSD. Typically with children that do have PTSD, you're going to notice a lot of anxiety, especially when they're not around their family or they don't feel comfortable. They're gonna show a lot of anxiety, and they're gonna seem maybe sad or withdrawn, or maybe just not present in that moment. Another thing you may notice with children, that they have trouble concentrating, right? They're not really able to remember a lot of things that you may have said. You may have to, repeat things or slow down a little bit when talking to them. They may just seem a little numb to emotion, right? Which makes sense to them trying to protect themselves from whatever had happened to them. Again, they may have problems in school. They may be having behavioral issues at home as well. Um, but you're gonna also notice maybe a child that's a little bit on guard, right? A little bit defensive. A kid that doesn't want to be hurt again, right? And that's what we have to remember. Um, so some of our the problem for children that have PTSD is this worry, right? This fear that either it's gonna happen again, or that they keep replaying that event back in their mind, and it's bothering them. It's causing actual distress in their life where they can't move forward. So some of the goals of treatment are to learn be able to relax themselves, right? To hopefully be able, when those thoughts come, to use some breathing techniques, and through CBT, addressing those thoughts that do come, and kind of looking at them, and seeing what they mean to the child. We also want to allow the child to go back to that memory and that time, and expose them almost to the event, and let them process those emotions, and let those emotions come out, that may have been shut down and that were not able to be processed, and the child wasn't able to develop from that point. So, kind of going back and allowing that child to get back to that moment, and almost starting that recovery process from there, is really important. So, again, the relaxation techniques, very important to teach the child and to teach the parent, right? You want the parent to be able to know how to allow the child to relax, and the parent themselves may need some relaxation techniques to try on themselves, right? So we're also going to do some assessments. We're going to do a initial assessment, history, family history, medical, substance abuse, family history, things like that. And we also, a lot of the history is going to come from the parent, not, the child is not going to probably know a lot about the family history, right, at 11 years old. So that's where the parent is going to be important into this process. And then we're also going to implement some play therapy for the child. He's 11 years old. He seems pretty withdrawn, and it doesn't seem like he really wants to talk. He says nothing's wrong, but it's clear something is going on. So a little play therapy, maybe, some toys and a sand, or maybe some coloring, just to get the child to feel like, hey, it's okay to be here, right? I don't need a whole bunch of details yet because I just want them to feel comfortable, and you just want them to feel relaxed, and hopefully things will start flowing out after that. After you can kind of get to that level, build that rapport where the child feels safe with you, it might take some time. It's not going to happen right overnight. I would give also more formally, I would give the child the severity of post-traumatic stress symptoms for children ages 11 to 17. So, to really match that up with some of the diagnostic criteria that we talked about earlier for PTSD in children. So then, we also want to be able to measure progress throughout treatment, not just in the beginning. I feel like assessment is something that needs to occur throughout the whole length of treatment. So we want to do assess in the middle, in the beginning, right? We want to assess in the middle, see if our treatment is working. We want to do it at the end to see how far we've come or how far we haven't come. But we must measure to track the progress. So those are some of the things that you can try working with children. Not everything is gonna work, so sometimes you're gonna have to see how the child is feeling. Maybe he will be open to talking, and you got to be able to adapt to that and be ready to listen. But maybe he doesn't want to talk. Maybe he wants to color, use colors. Maybe he wants to play with toys that represent what happened to him or what he witnessed, right? And we want to we're not going to be able to get rid of the memory, but we are trying to improve and heal on the reaction that the memory is having on them currently. So I feel like I touched on everything in this training. I hope I didn't miss anything. Again, the assessment, the rapport, and the assessment are the crucial parts of this. If you can get a strong, solid assessment and really get the diagnosis down, it really lays a strong foundation and roadmap for working with anybody, but especially working with children. It can be challenging. Don't forget that you are also working with the parent, right? The parent is a huge part of this. I hope that my video was helpful, and I hope that you learned something. I definitely learned something doing this, and consider this a teach back in a sense, right? I think when we do teach backs, it helps us learn. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.